All right, we back. I wanted for everybody out there that doesn't like to, read paperwork and sit through hours of, stenographer writing shit down and court cases and all that. I want to point out, just to make things short and sweet, I want to point out the 5 key points in this Drake UMG lawsuit. The 5 key points. Let's start at number 1. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. This whole thing is laden with hypocrisy. When I say laden, I mean like it's layers and layers and layers of hypocrisy. There's hypocrisy on Drake's side, there's hypocrisy on Kendrick's side, and there's hypocrisy on the fan side. And I'll start with hypocrisy on Kendrick's side, right? Don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell truths about you. Now, if there was any truth to these pedo accusations and all that stuff, or Drake having a daughter that, he's hiding, a 11, 12-year-old daughter, would be 12 now, right? There's no truth, there's no fact, that we haven't seen any evidence of it, right? So when you sold that line, you're basically saying, okay, the things that I'm going to say about you are true, right? And that's free for interpretation. We, as a battle rapper, I know not to take everything as face value. But when someone presents something as the truth, there's been plenty of occasions where someone has said something that wasn't true, but the audience bought it as truth, and it was very damaging to that person's career. Now, this is a rap battle, though. So on the hypocrisy side for Drake, you want to be able to throw accusations out there and say damaging shit, but then you don't want the things being said about you to see the light of day. And that's super hypocritical. Super hypocritical. Because, like, bro, it's a rap battle. You're saying shit, he's saying shit. Like, don't get mad because you're saying stuff. You know what I mean? And for Drake, I feel like, and we're gonna get to this. I'm gonna follow up on this. He feels like, and there's, we can pretty much see in what his lawyers requesting. You know what? We're gonna save that. Now, hypocrisy with the fans. Some of y'all won't accept that this was just a rap battle. And you guys who won't accept that this was a rap battle, you guys that argued, you guys that got online every day to say what Kendrick was saying was true or saying what Drake was saying was true, you guys that refused to just be entertained by a rap battle, you're the reason why this lawsuit exists. You guys that are saying, it's true, he is He done you didn't see that video, but you guys that spread all this information trying to make people believe that either one of these guys was speaking undeniable truth. Is the reason why this shit exists. Is the reason why he's able to take this road, and it's a dark road, bro, because I can't see it leading to a clear L or clear victory for Drake. But we're going to get to that. Okay. Now, in the recent court date, and this is part 2, a bomb went off, and I don't even think people noticed it. I don't think a lot of people noticed it. Lucian Grange wrote a letter to the judge saying that, he owns, or UMG owns, a huge portion of Drake's catalog and is publishing. Now, saying that, you gotta wonder, what would they get out of defaming him or supporting the defamation of someone who they're more liable to? The chances are that they're gonna make more money off of Drake's success than off of Kendrick's. Because if you look at Kendrick is PG Lane, he's independent. Well, he's not completely independent. You know, he goes through UMG for distribution, right? So I think it would be in their interest, in their best interest, that Drake came out on top of this. Because that means, okay, then his music skyrockets, we make more money. So him admitting that, it's like, okay, all right, y'all own a big portion. How would it serve you? How would it serve you? And that's a question mark, because I'm not saying that that just goes to show that this whole lawsuit is bullshit. That's not what I'm saying. I do think like most of this shit is bullshit, but I do see an angle in it. It's petty as hell. It's petty as hell, but we're gonna get there, right? I can't see why I would buy Pepsi and then tell people soda's bad for you. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't help me. That doesn't help me unless I had another product and I wanted to just sink Pepsi to sell this other product. But, for that to be a good business move, I'd have to be making a good or own a good percentage of that other product so that the money that I spent on buying this, I can make that money back by promoting this and sinking this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so him admitting that, it was kind of a shocker, because you would think like, yo, Drake has an upper hand with these labels and that's why they're trying to take him down. But does he? Does he? Now, one thing about Drake is, it's clear with they said he lost about several $1 million gambling just in this week. He's definitely living a lifestyle that needs to be supported. Now, someone owning your master, well, not owning your masters, but owning your publishing, owning your catalog, which includes your masters. You might be in a position where you're dependent on being in a good business standing with these people. Or you might be looking to get out of that so that you go independent. You feel like you'll be able to have an upper hand, or you're famous enough that if you went independent, if you found another way, you went to another label, there's some other platform or a way that you could be even more successful without them. It's just strange to think about, like, why would I want to defame you? And I guess that's the question, and that's part of this whole lawsuit, and why Drake is feeling like this happened at a particular time, and the actions of UMG were not familiar to the actions that they took in the past. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. All right, number 3. Drake's team requesting information on Kendrick, if he ever had a DV case, or the relationship between Dave Free and Whitney and his children and all that. It's weird. It's weird. But you gotta wonder, where did Drake get this information from? Where did he get this information from? If there's any type of fact to it, I'm not saying that there's any fact to it, but where would he get this information from? And if it was possible that he got this information through someone at the label, then that would mean that he knows some sort of documentation exists. There's something there. Because the trolling at this point, like, if you're going that hard to troll, okay, you do just have to, get people to have a reasonable doubt to kind of plant the seeds so that you can, in some people's eyes, you kind of give them a road to believe that, no, Drake was telling the truth by asking for this stuff. But you got to wonder, if he really does believe that this shit is true, and that's his argument, That's the thing that people are not saying. I watched a lot of people blog on this. What people are not saying is the reason why he's asking for this stuff is because his lyrics were being compared to Kendrick's lyrics, right? So UMG is like, but you said this, you said this, you said this. Like, you can't be mad that somebody said something back to you. And I guess when you get to as far as like the definition of defamation, if there's no truth to what's being said, then yeah, you're pretty much, you guys are equal in spewing bullshit, right? But if there is some truth to it, then that would mean that my lyrics are not defamation. It's actually true. And that is defamation because that's not actually true. Now, do I believe that somehow, you hear all the time about these industry people playing games and creating enemies and kind of like fostering these rivalries and just creating this imbalance within hip hop where it can't be unified. And we see it all the time. Like Cardi B just dropped the fire record on Imaginary Players. Sounds like she's dissing Nicki Minaj. And Nicki Minaj has been going at Rock Nation. And for her to drop this record, which is a Jay-Z remake, she would have to get the okay from Jay-Z. Jay-Z okays it. So now Cardi has a record where she's kind of like dissing Nicki because Nicki's been going at Rock Nation. You see it. You see it, right? It's being fostered, right? It's being fostered. So in this particular situation, what if Drake was fed this information from a higher up at UMG, and he knows it? I mean, people have said for a long time that, him and Lucien with Kanye, he made this argument that Lucien Graves is Drake's daddy and blah, 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 blah. What if this information there was something to it? And he knows that there's something to it. Because he was pretty much, they hired a crisis management team and all that stuff. Like, Now, if this information came out, if he was able to get a hold of some sort of proof that this happened, I want y'all to leave it in the comments. How would y'all feel about it? Does it change the outcome of the battle? Would it make you look at Kendrick a little bit differently? Would you look at Drake a little bit differently? Would you even care at all? I think by the time this thing is over, it's just going to look like a fucking mess. If it does get to that point, it's just going to look like a mess. The whole shit is going to look like a mess. I don't think anybody's going to win, right? So yeah, you got to wonder, why does he, because if UMG is saying, yo, you said this and this, now the rebuttal is, well, give us access so that we can see if there's any type of truth to it from you guys' records. Now that's number 3 for why he's requesting this type of shit, right? Still petty. 4, and I don't think people know how important number 4 is. Number 4 is proof of favoritism. Number 4 is proof of behavior that Drake kind of became a spoiled brat from. You know what I mean? Pusha T has been very vocal about how Universal has been trying to censor him, especially the story of Adidon, the diss record where people believe that Pusha T kind of like washed Drake, right? Exposed him having a son, and now we know these things to be true. Kendrick verse that was on the Clips album, trying to censor these things to appease Drake. Now this behavior is what Drake was used to. Like, you did this for me in this situation. I know that you can do that. I know that you can censor records. I know that you can put a stop to them. Why didn't you stop this one? It's not like us shit was a monster. Why were you engaged in promoting and repackaging and exposing it to bigger audiences when you did this for me in this Pusha T situation? This record was way more damaging. So from Drake's stance, it's like, wait a minute, y'all moving funny. Cause, y'all usually do this for me and y'all didn't do it this time. And what's the difference in situation now? So that got him scratching his head like, okay, so what do y'all stand to win in this situation? What was the goal for you guys to move differently for this time? And here we have a lawsuit where he's saying that UMG assisted. Not so much that they assisted, but they didn't assist me this time. Pusha T is playing a very big role in this. And I feel like Pusha T is actually the key component in the behavior that Drake was used to. Number 5, which is wild. Number 5 is pretty much what's going to keep us talking about this shit. Though the judge is giving a lot of pushback to Drake's team, the motions that are being filed to dismiss this case are being denied. So the story goes on. What is the judge looking for? What is the judge? What are the things that Drake's team are presenting that's giving some sort of validity to his claims? Because the judge is not dismissing this case. And UMG is definitely like, yo, let's just shut this whole shit down. Like, why we even here, my nigga? Like, why we here? And the judge is like, wait, hold on. Let me see if they can make a good argument. Now, will they make a good argument? Will the judge be interested in what really goes on at UMG? Should that information get out? What's going to happen? What is going to happen? So I wasn't going to sit here and read through paperwork with you guys. I'm not into that. But for me, those are the 5 key points. The hypocrisy of the whole situation. Lucian Grange admitting that UMG owns a large portion of Drake's catalog and publishing. So what did they stand to gain? Drake's team requesting this personal information about Kendrick in the DV case. Is he requesting that because he knows it exists? Or is he trolling? If he's trolling, the whole shit is a waste of time. But if he's not, it's just going to get messier. I don't think there's any way that we don't look at this situation as, Drake lost. I think that's just etched in history now. Like, you took a L. You took a L in this battle, bro. All this stuff that's going to happen afterwards is just messiness. But we all kind of see that you took an L in this situation, and it is what it is. You can take an L and keep moving, or Pusha T admitting to the censorship kind of shows behavior that Drake was expecting in this situation, which he did not receive. So now the question arises: what do they stand to gain from not doing that? What's there? What's there? What is it? And the judge not dismissing this case. So that means there'll be more blogs, there'll be more conversations, and more information. So that's my take on it for right now. And I'll be back with more. Hit that like, hit that share, let everybody know you in here. Don't cost you no paper, even if you's a mother hater. And I'm out.